Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session today. Today is the Bookkeepers Growth Summit, so I appreciate you all for coming along today. We've got a big session ahead of us. Today's event is actually based on BizInc's Leads to Loyalty framework, so we're going to break down that framework in a second and show you what that looks like. But I'm really excited. We've got some awesome partners who are joining us for all of today's sessions. Obviously, presented by BizInc, but also supported by Ignition, Profit First Professionals, Sharon Francisco of the Entrepreneurial Bookkeeper, and Pure Bookkeeping as well. I'm sure some familiar names in the industry. So it's really good to have you all along today. I'll give you a few more minutes to get set up. Feel free to open up the Zoom webinar chat and say hello and let us know where you're joining from. So we'll kick things off today with the plan session. Like I said, this is based on BizInc's Leads to Loyalty framework. So plan is the first stage, as you can see on screen. And really this is about the entire marketing journey for a bookkeeping firm. So we're going to be breaking it down for you into bite-sized chunks. And obviously it starts with a plan. So we'll go through that in a bit more detail. Today's session is assessing your firm's existing resources and creating a plan for moving forward. So planning for success for next year and learning how to leverage your brand. So I'm really excited to have Laura joining us today. She's the CEO of Profit First Professionals Australia, New Zealand. She's a serial entrepreneur and an awesome public speaker as well. So her mission is to ensure entrepreneurs and small business owners understand what's happening in their business for two powerful reasons, so that they can pay themselves, build a sustainable business, and make a profit. So hello, Laura. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited, and I love that we are working through BizInc's framework and then I get to talk about planning.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good mix, hey?
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to run through the agenda. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the basics of Profit First, and Laura as CEO can run you through that and how you can use it as a tool for your business. At BizInc, we've worked with a bunch of Profit First professionals ourselves, and I've seen firsthand the growth that has led them to, and the journey that's taken them on too. So it's going to be cool to hear a bit more about that. And Laura's also going to be talking us through why Profit First is a high value service offering, and how you can future-proof your business as well beyond just the usual tax and compliance stuff. So just a quick little bit of housekeeping before we get into it all. So this is all being recorded. If you miss anything, don't stress. We will send it all out afterwards via the email channels. But if you have any questions while you have Laura and I on the session today, feel free to use that Q&A panel or chat panel to send us a question. We'll try and get through them at the end, or if there's something relevant as we go, I'll jump a butt in and ask Laura for you. So feel free to do that. And keep an eye out for QR codes and links that you can click on to access more resources as well. So I've just seen the chat. We're saying hello to Stephen from Tassie. I think I just saw it's snowing down there. Meanwhile, John says it's hot and windy in Brisbane. So that sounds about right. I'm actually in New Zealand at the moment on holidays, and work, obviously. So yeah, I see a few people from New Zealand too. So hello to you all. I'm just going to get Diane to put a link in the chat as well. So we've created a marketing performance audit, which is a really cool little scorecard assessment tool to see how your marketing is currently doing. And it's also based on this framework we're talking about today. So we're going to give you some education and help today, but we're also going to give you a tool and following resources to help improve as well. So I think it's a really good place to start if you'd like to do that as well. So without further ado, I will stop screen sharing and let Laura do her screen share. So while she gets set up, feel free to open up that chat panel as well. Otherwise, over to you, Laura. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Just confirming that you can hear me and you can see my screen okay.
I can. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here today. I'm really excited to be speaking about 2023. It's the perfect time to really be setting yourself up for success and to have a plan in place. Before we get started, I just want to say hi to everyone, and I'd love to know how many of you have actually heard of Profit First, and if you have a plan already in place for 2023, I'd love to know where we're at with that. Before I dive into the next sort of information and all of that for you, I want to just sort of introduce myself and what Profit First Australia New Zealand is. So before I became CEO of Profit First Australia and New Zealand, I was a Profit First professional myself. I own a bookkeeping and accounting firms, and the biggest struggle that I saw with my clients was the cash flow, and was the fact that they came to us asking questions about their business, wanting help, around how they can do more and not be, in debt and that sort of stuff. And it was something that is a very big mission that's close to my heart, that I stepped into this role so that we could train accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches in the Profit First methodology to then help other businesses so that they are not facing the challenges around cash flow and are successful in their own right. So I'm also a mum of two and an accountant, BAS agent. I love to travel, love coffee. In fact, I hope you've all had your coffee this morning, and I really look forward to diving into things. So today's agenda is around the basics of, first of all, why planning is really important, the basics of Profit First and how you can use it as a tool within your business, why Profit First is a high value service and how you can create a profitable service offering, and the future group and how you can future-proof your business beyond compliance. Now, before we jump into the Profit First and the nitty-gritty around that, I'd love to talk about planning for success. As we know, success doesn't just happen. It takes careful planning. And in fact, November of 2022, today, is the best day to set yourself up to have a business that you love in 2023. And I love the fact that we've got all different pillars based on Business framework around how to do this. And so I'll be talking specifically about planning. What I do want to do is just drop in a sort of quick visual, which is around planting the seed now. So we are currently in an environment that is changing due to things outside of our control. There's inflation, there's all sorts of challenges and additional challenges after COVID that businesses are facing. The other thing that's changing is that bookkeepers in particular are facing challenges with more compliance, with more work, and not being able to charge more money and have that profitable offering. And so now is the absolute time to plant that seed so that that tree can grow. And what I'd really love for you to consider is how can you help your clients that are already asking you questions and to step more into that trusted advisor role. What we've done is we have got a free download here, which if you just get your phone and click on the QR code, it will take you down to an overview. Diane will also chuck the link into the chat. And I'd really love for you to take some time to consider, what is your big goal for 2023? What is it that you love about your business right now? What is it that you dislike or you find challenging at this point in time? What changes would you like to make in 2023? And that may be stepping into a more advisory offering rather than in the compliance. What steps are you going to take to implement those changes, and what support do you need? So, as of course, this also ties into your marketing plan. So once you have this information that you're really clear on, you can then implement that within your marketing plan as well. All right, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the chat and I will happily answer them as we go. If I don't get to your question, I will come to it at the end. We'll have time for Q&A. All right, so first of all, for those of you that may not be aware, Profit First is a book that was written by Mike Michalowicz. It originated in the US. It's been around now for more than 6 years, and it is a really easy read for business owners that are not numbers people. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through what Profit First is. So Profit First is about behavior and not logic. So as bookkeepers and accountants, we know all of the principles, the accounting principles. We know that the profit and loss has to look a certain way and the balance sheet has its function and that sort of stuff. But as business owners, do they generally look at these things? Some do, and they have a place, but most of the time it's behavioral. And so instead of it being all their income that come in, less their expenses, might have profit as a leftover or a loss. We're going to flip that. We're going to say, well, why don't we prioritize profit? So from your sales, you put your profit aside. It's first profit, and then what's left over is available for your expenses. So the reason why we've done this is that we don't want to necessarily change habits, because as human beings, we're difficult when it comes to changing. So why don't we leverage them instead? How many of you actually look at your bank balance to make decisions? I know that a number of my clients end up in the morning opening up their banking app and look at their bank accounts to decide what it is they can do today. Well, the difference is that instead of saying, well, don't do that, you need to look at a profit and loss, we're going to set up a framework so that they can continue to do that. Why change it when you can leverage it? So the essential idea of Profit First is that we have small plates or separate bank accounts. As we know, and I'm going to liken this to food and losing weight, because I think all of us at some point can understand that. When you go to a buffet, you generally overeat because it's this big portion of all the different things that you'd like to try. It's the same thing when it comes to your money. If you have the one bank account, it is so hard to know what it is that you're needing to do. Whether the money in there is for you, the business owner, can pay down a debt, can pay for an expense, and all of that sort of stuff. What we're trying to do is segment out these different areas, and what you can see here on the left-hand side is percentages. So instead of saying $100 goes into this bank account and 20 goes into another, we're saying whatever income comes into your main bank account, if we break it down in these percentages, and these are generalized percentages, they can be changed and they can be tweaked, and that's where Profit First professionals come into play, based on the business owner's goals. But we'll talk just generally for now, that whatever comes into the income account gets distributed with these percentages. So this here is just an idea of the percentages, but what it would look like is this. You have your main income account, your bank account, or your one serving tray with 4 different portions. You'd have a separate profit account so that we can put that profit percentage into play. We have the tax GST account, we have owner's pay, and we have expenses. The reason why we do that is that as money comes in, every single bank account has a purpose, so that when the business owner looks at their bank accounts, they know what is available in their expenses account to pay for marketing, to whether they can, hire a new person. What is their money as the owner, rather than taking what may be left over, ensuring that there is a profit, cash profit, not just profit on the profit and loss, and always pay their tax and GST on time. So that's a really quick high-level overview of Profit First. But what I want to talk about is what does it actually help you with? And what it helps you with as a business owner and your clients is, if anyone's in a debt situation, Profit First allows for a debt elimination plan to go in place from the profit account, as well as ensuring that you're paying minimal payments. That, in a number of businesses, especially now, is a really big pain point. The additional thing that it does is it ensures that the business owner always puts money aside for their taxes and their GST, so that when it becomes due, it's not this big shock and surprise and then payment plan after payment plan happens. It allows for the owner's account to really accumulate, to pay super, to pay themselves a regular wage, to know what is available within their business. And it may start out small, but it does increase. It also allows you to know exactly what you have to spend on your operating expenses, whether that be, staff, whether it is subscriptions, whether it's marketing and that sort of stuff. It is a tool that easily highlights and shows business owners exactly what needs to happen, even if things feel really hard and there's lots of changes that need to be made. What I want to do is talk to you about Profit First as a tool in your business. One of the biggest things that we do is teach not just business owners, but Profit First professionals as well, how to implement it in their own business, because you don't want to be that plumber that has a leaky tap. And so what Profit First allows you to do is be more profitable, is to know whether you're charging enough, to know what you can afford to invest in and get that return on investment on. It also is a way that you can introduce a high value service to your clients. It allows you to leverage a brand. The biggest thing that we really need at this point in time is to differentiate. Unfortunately, and I'm saying this as a fellow bookkeeper, within the public, a bookkeeper is a bookkeeper is a bookkeeper. Even though we are amazingly skilled individuals and we make such a difference to businesses, they only see a bookkeeper as whatever they've learned, someone that does the compliance, that does the number crunching and that sort of thing. What this allows you to do is be that trusted advisor, to leverage a global brand, to be able to differentiate yourself as someone that is offering a trademarked service. The other thing is that it allows for, whoops, the slide's gone wrong. It allows for you to have a profitable offering. There's so much more to Profit First than just the assessment and the bank accounts. It allows you to have conversations with your clients around pricing. Are they charging enough? Do they have a plan in place for pricing? Is each individual service or product profitable? It allows them to see where they're overspending, because as we know, subscriptions creep up on us. It allows for what feels like an impossibility when it comes to debt, to be able to, help them put a debt snowball consolidation plan in place. It allows as well you as the business owner, the bookkeeper, to create a business that works for you. I would really love for you to have a look at that planning sheet and to spend some time to look at what is it that you want in 2023? What is it that needs to change? And this framework allows you to know what you can spend, but also how the changes that you need to make and how it's possible to have a more profitable offering. As we know, compliance has gone through the roof and people are looking to reduce their costs around bookkeeping. But every single business owner is looking for support and help to make their business better, to sleep better at night, to be able to wake up, know that they're profitable, pay their bills, and grow in whatever way it looks like. The other thing that it does as a bookkeeper is it allows you to have high value but a low number of clients. If you can do scale if you want to do, but what I have found over the years is that I'd rather work with a smaller number of clients that I can go deep with, that I can really help their businesses with. And this is a plan that allows you to do that. What it also does is it future-proofs your business. And I know that this is something that is spoken about a lot. There are a lot of words around future-proofing and that sort of thing. But the truth is, we need to move beyond compliance. What does this mean for you, though? So one of the biggest things that I'd love for you to consider is, what does this mean for you? Do you want to step fully into an advisory only, or is it something that you do in conjunction with? Do you use it as a differentiator? The future of the industry is more automation and software advances, which is great, but we need to move on from that. We need to allow for that to happen, but still help our clients in a more meaningful way. So we need the ability to expand our offerings in 2023 in a way that works for you as the business owner. So what that actually means is plan. And I'd love for you to share into the chat if you know what you're trying to achieve in 2023. And 2, if you have had Profit First implemented in your business, if it's working for you, any questions that you have, I'd love for you then to tie it to your marketing plan. Because once you know what you're trying to achieve, you can plan out the steps that you need to take to be able to do it. It's going to allow you to be more profitable as a business yourself by implementing Profit First, and it can help your clients be more profitable because times are changing, and it allows for that differentiation. All right, now I'd love to jump into questions, because normally what happens is we have a number of different, questions around what does this mean for my business, or more about Profit First, and I would love to discuss that more. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and answer if you want to jump in with me, and we can have a bit of a conversation.
Sure. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to use that chat panel to send them through now. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I was kind of just curious listening.
Yeah.
What, I guess, how did you find Profit First when you were in practice, and what sort of made you, made that leap?
No, I love that question. And it's something that I generally talk more about within the membership than public. So I'm really, really happy you asked the question, Anthea. The short answer is I still do it. I still am a Profit First professional. I have my personal brand and my accounting firm and bookkeeping firm where Profit First is integral to what we do. So I became a Profit First professional as one of the first within Australia when it was rolled out. So I've been a Profit First professional for more than 6 years. And the biggest challenge that I found was the time that got sucked through doing the bookkeeping and compliance that was never seen as valuable was a constant conversation that we're having. Yet clients would come to me and be like, I don't know why I can't pay for my GST and my tax. And, we seem to be making money and the revenue's increasing year after year, but I don't have any money in the bank, or my accountant, you're telling me that I've made a profit. Where is it? So it's very much a matter of helping them. And so what I did is I decided to sign up as a Profit First professional in the US, and I've used this framework to help thousands of clients now, from those that are the solopreneurs to the multi-million-dollar businesses with team and that sort of thing. And what it did and what it is that we plan. What are the goals of the business owner? What are they trying to achieve? Often they're in the rat race of trying to find more money to pay that bill, rather than creating a business that they actually love and want to, wake up to each day. And, an example would be a client of mine realized that they've increased their revenue and their revenue was substantial, but they could actually not worry about increasing their revenue and instead downsize what they were doing and be more profitable and have more time, because they wanted to spend more time with their family. And so what that allowed me to do is start to have those really meaningful conversations with clients to get clearer on what they were trying to achieve. And then we can reverse engineer using the Profit First methodology and these percentages to be able to go, well, this is where you are, this is where you want to be, and this is the gap that we're finding. So what needs to happen? And, I'm happy to report that clients, when they feel like they're supported to really reach their goals, and they have a framework that makes sense, that isn't them learning, how to read a profit and loss and a balance sheet and to, do spreadsheets and that sort of stuff, it makes a huge difference. And so we do that in a number of ways now, but it's the framework that we just don't seem to move away from because it works.
And I guess it's like you hear a lot, I know advisory's overused and all that, but like it's a way to do that really. And it's following a methodology, a formula, that has plenty of evidence out there that it has made quite a lot of impact. Stephen in the chat is telling everyone that it's allowed him to convey to our clients what control over your money does for your mental well-being and professional health as well. That's a really awesome way to put it as well. So
love that, Stephen.
Yeah. Leanne's got a question for you. For startup clients, the Profit First idea can be quite a challenge. How do you begin the approach with them?
Startups are my favorite when it comes to introducing Profit First, because whilst you do need money to be able to distribute it through the percentages, what generally happens as a startup is that they throw spaghetti at the wall. They're like, well, I'll try this and then I'll try that. And they stick to one thing for a short period of time, and that's not an instant success. And so they move on to something else, and then they get themselves, burnt out and confused. So the way that I approach it is, again, and why I talk about planning so much, is what are you trying to achieve as a startup? What is the minimum amount that you need to be able to pay yourself as an owner? start there, not even about the revenue, because the revenue we can reverse engineer. So if they're needing $2,000 a month, let's say, to take it to their to take home personally so that they can pay their bills and all of that, then what does that look like if 50%, if we go back to those percentages, 50% of the revenue is that $2,000, they need to bring in $4,000. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually utilizing it as a tool to reverse engineer what's possible to create that plan. And then, you know, even if it is less money that comes in, it gives them a realistic idea of what they can do with it. So a lot of startups tend to overcommit to, you know, their expenses, or they're putting expenses through that aren't particularly necessary. You know, the tax percentage as a startup doesn't need to be the 15% because they're not making money yet. So that can be changed and more money put elsewhere. So it is really about understanding what they're trying to achieve and where their biggest pain point is. Once they, you know, then get paid, and what I spend a lot of time with them is okay, so if you need this amount of revenue, what are you offering? And this is where a lot of what other speakers will be speaking about today is, you know, really mapping that out in a sustainable way for them, not just saying, well, I need this amount of money. It's like, well, what does it look like for them? And then when it comes in, they know the gap. They know that, let's say $2,000 comes in, and so that gets distributed down to these different bank accounts, and they only have $500 in their expenses account. And so what can you do with that? It's amazing what Parkinson's law can do, and this is a huge principle that we use with Profit First, is that whatever time there is how long something's going to take, and it's equally the same for money. So whatever money you have is what you're going to spend. And, you know, within the book itself, it talks about toothpaste, which is, and I think we can all really relate to this, where you've got a new thing of toothpaste and you put the big dollops on your toothbrush to brush your teeth. As you're getting to the end, that last little bit lasts weeks. And it's the exact same thing with money. So as a startup, they need to be more frugal, or, you know, creative thinking around what it is that they're trying to offer, or how they show up, or what expenses they can commit to. The other thing as well is that some startups, there is the need for personal funds to be introduced. But where that gets messy is that they don't really keep track of it. They might bring some money across, and then they, you know, don't see that as a loan. We'd actually bring that into their bank account and distribute it, still using Profit First, so that they know exactly what is there to spend. And then we create, using the profit account, a plan to pay them back, which never seems to happen without this framework in place. So I hope that that helps.
Well, I think so. Leanne said, I'll start with what they need to get paid and work out how we'll make that happen. So I would say that was that was very helpful.
Awesome.
I just wanted to ask as well, with, you know, your main sort of point for, you know, bookkeepers on the call today to be thinking about what they want to achieve in 2023. Are there certain goals you tend to hear when you ask that question in your group, or what are you know, maybe what's realistic to aim for, and those sorts of things?
For sure. So the biggest conversation that I have over and over again with those that are considering what they want to do as bookkeepers, or even, you know, members within our organization, is, well, I just get caught up in the day-to-day. I'd have no time. I feel like I'm working so hard and the client doesn't value what I'm doing. And, you know, I can't charge enough, and I just want to help people. I want to do more with the time that I have available. And so this is a framework that allows for that. So what it does is it gets you to assess the clients that you're currently working with. And yes, there may be a cull needed for those that are not your ideal client, that are not paying you well enough to give you some time to do it. But those that are, you know, wanting to change their business, get more sales, to, you know, deal with their cash flow and that sort of stuff, are looking for support. Do you know how many threads I see on Facebook, in emails, saying my accountant and my bookkeeper just aren't supporting me? You know, like, I ask questions and, you know, I don't really get the answers, or that sort of thing. Whereas this allows for these conversations to be had. It also frees up your time because you can use this framework in your own business too. What do you actually need to be bringing in? What are you paying yourself? Do you need to have the current client load, or is it a matter of getting rid of some of your clients and increasing prices marginally to bring in what you need? And so we don't just use this for our clients, we use this for ourselves as well. And what it really does is it instantly steps you into that advisor role. It gives you the tools to be able to have really great conversations with your clients so that they can really reach their goals and make the changes in their business, because it's only going to get worse in the next couple of years when it comes to, you know, cash flow and expenses increasing for them, and, you know, all of the changes that we're dealing with ourselves as business owners. Yeah.
Well, John's actually put in his goal for 2020, achieve in 2023 more sales and more profit with existing resources.
Yes.
I hope you feel comfortable enough to share what your goal in 2023 is. Feel free to put that in the chat. You don't have to put it to everyone if you just want to, but I'd like that to be your goal for the next 10-15 minutes anyway, to think of what your plan will be, or your goal, and we can start to work out a plan from that. This does link in, like you alluded to your marketing plan, because at BizInc we're often, you know, obviously helping people with this, get asked about this a lot, and there is still, just one point I want to make, there is still, you know, some responsibility on you. There's only so much an outsourced marketing department or team, or, you know, even as specialists in accountants and bookkeepers ourselves, there's only so much we can do. Certain things do need to be guided by you, directed by you. Where do you want to take your business? Where are you heading? Who are you focusing on? All that sort of stuff needs to come from you. It's your business at the end of the day, and it's building it around where you want it to go. So that's why I love this idea that you've put there, and the plan that you've shared as well to help them set that. So that's just one thing I wanted to reiterate, was you do need to be involved at a certain level, and then it'll make the outsourced marketing, you know, team be able to take that and run with it. There'll be a lot more they can do when they get given some guidance like that. You don't have to have it set in stone either. That plan, I'm sure, can change as 2023 comes and different things come up. I'm sure the plan will have to change a little bit as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Did you have anything else? I've got a couple of questions as well. I just wanted to check if you had other stuff to share, Laura. Or
yeah, I just wanted to talk about so one of specific to Profit First, because these are questions that we get asked by business owners and also bookkeepers and accountants as well. There's the framework of Profit First. How does that account for Australian or New Zealand taxes and GST? And the biggest thing is, and we know as bookkeepers and accountants, that the GST is not our money. It's not our money. And so the way that it is utilized is it gets taken off the income by a percentage. The percentage will depend. If you're going to go with the generalized things within Australia, it's 10%. But what we would do is look at, well, what is the net GST that was payable? And that comes off on top, which then leaves them with their real revenue. So like, let's say they've got $22,000 that's come in, 2,000 of that would be put aside into the GST, and then the distributions to the other accounts would happen. The reason why that happens is that if it's done first, then it's clear from a mindset perspective that it's not their money. It also means that they start to have those savings and buffers in place before it happens. And it also means that it can be tweaked too. So if their GST, the net GST that they're paying at the end of the quarter is 6%, not 10% because of their expenses, then that's great. They've got additional savings in there that you could look at and go, well, is it needed? Where can it go? Like it is really, it's a bank account that ensures that the main purpose is that, but it also creates those internal buffers within bank accounts too. So if you have a percentage rather than a dollar figure, it really helps for that. And I know that that's a question that we get asked a lot. So I wanted to jump in and answer that question.
We've also got some questions just about like profit costs of certification and that sort of stuff, as well as I guess, do you use a subscription model? I think I understand, but I'll let you answer this, to pay them profit first and then the client pays us, is how the question's been asked. Is that how it works? Or, yeah.
So I think they're two different questions. So the first, and I'd love clarification because I want to be able to answer this properly. Are you asking how you get paid if you're a profit first professional?
That's my understanding, but John, feel free to jump and confirm. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the question is
So-
like, do you take a cut?
Right. No, we don't take a cut. So, and this is the biggest thing, and I'd love to bust some myths.
Go for it.
We are not a franchise. We are not, we don't take a revenue share with you. None of that happens. Our mission is to eradicate entrepreneurial and small business poverty. And so what we are is we're a training and membership organization that trains accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches in the profit first methodology, as well as other tools that allow for you to craft your offerings and service offerings, including profit first in your business, your way. We're very big on, and this is why, again, it ties into that plan. What are you trying to achieve in 2023? What do you love to do? What are you trying to reduce? And the great news about the profit first framework is that it can be taken and changed and offered in different ways. So we have profit first professionals that utilize it as a one-on-one service where it's a profit first implementation, rollout, and advisory offering. We've got others that use it for workshops, and they charge a lower cost that reaches more people, and then that might go into a course. We don't dictate that. You are the business owner of your business, and we're here to support you, to help you grow as an advisor, and also help your clients with the cash flow problems and challenges that they have. And so we don't dictate pricing as such. We definitely have recommendations around what pricing should happen, but it's totally dependent on how you are set up as a profit first professional and what you're offering. So for some people, profit first is an additional tool within their bigger service offering, and it's not a standalone, and they'll price accordingly. Others, it is the sole thing that they do, and they price that way as well. So I think that answers that question. Profit first is amazing. Yep, I see that.
Yeah. And John is just asking about how much the training costs. I think also about the certification. So maybe clarify what the offerings are. I understand if you want to send resources on pricing and stuff like that.
Sure.
Or yeah.
Sure. So first of all, start with the book if you haven't. So Clayton, thank you for that. It's absolutely fantastic. What we are is, you're not paying for the training. It is a membership that allows for you to have it as a service offering for your clients. You get trained in it, and it's a continual process of training. So what that actually does is it means that we have an annual fee or a month by month, cost investment. And what that allows you to do is be trained, become certified, so that you have profit first implemented in your own business properly, that you have run through with beta clients what your offering is and how profit first is rolled out. And then we work with you to implement it as a service and an offering in your business, so that you can then market that and that sort of thing. It does count towards CPD hours. Everything that we do is allows for CPD hours with all of the Institute certified bookkeepers, CPA, all of the accountant and bookkeeping firms. And it's a tiered approach. So the first year for a profit first professional is really intensive. There's lots of training. There's lots of support. We offer group and one-on-one support. We have meet and action sessions. We have other experts that come in, and like BizInc is one of our partners. And so Anthea actually comes in on a monthly basis with marketing tips and templates and stuff for our profit first professionals. And we have other partners that help with the systems and that as well. And you get to have the support of the membership and the community to be able to help you implement it in your way. So the cost will vary. It starts at $9,900 upfront, or $990 per month, and then it goes down the year after, and then the year after that, because the idea is the return on investment is there, and there's less work, I guess, for you as a profit first professional in the latter years, but there's still lots of support and learnings that happen. And I know that we've got a couple of PFPs on, I can see Stephen's just commented. And the thing is, it's not going to be for everyone. And the idea is that it's not for everyone. It has to fit what your goals are and your plan is. And yeah, so I hope that answers that question. We will be sending out some more information, and you can get all of this information. We're very transparent around how it works and what the costs are via our website. And I can see there is it only for bookkeepers or accountants?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of business owners on here today, so it might be good just to clarify if there's a book and where to start with them. Yeah, sure.
So the biggest what our main purpose is to train accountants, bookkeepers and coaches. However, we do pair business owners with profit first professionals. So if you're a business owner, we have plenty of free resources to help you in your journey with Profit First, again, from our website. And all of our Profit First professionals have a lot of different information out there that's easy to find with a quick Google. And if you're wanting a Profit First professional to help you to implement Profit First, then we've got a form on our website that you can fill in, and they can help you implement it in your business. So you don't have to become certified or anything like that. And there are plenty of resources around Profit First out there. It's not yet time for you to be a Profit First professional. So yeah, so I hope that answers those questions as well.
Awesome. Well, I think we're just about coming up to time because we've got a few more sessions to run through today, yes. But a hearty thanks, Laura, for all of that. And I encourage all of you to have a look at that planner we mentioned earlier. There's a link in the chat, and we'll send one out afterwards, because I think it's a really good starting point to think about your business as a whole and where you want to take that. Yeah. And then that'll flow through into your marketing plan, which is obviously the real focus of this Bookkeeper Summit today is all about your marketing. Absolutely. But that is about your business too, right? So, and where you want to take it, like I said earlier. So if you can get those things sorted, and I know, Laura, I know you guys have helped, our mutual clients, identify their ideal clients and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's, marketing 101. So I know that your process helps with more than just the training on the methodology too. So I can vouch for what I've heard, the changes in their business too. So
thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Laura. We will send out details if you want to get in touch with Laura. Profit First Australia, access those resources. We'll send those details across. Otherwise, thank you very much, everyone. Session 1 done. We've got a few more to go through. The next is Attract. So we'll see you in that session in 15 or so minutes. Yes, we are sharing recordings. So if you're registered, we'll send those out. No stress if you miss or you want to go back and watch anything. Najma saying implementing Profit First is life-changing. So that probably sums this session up very well. Awesome. All right, we'll end it there. Thank you very much, everyone.